Hi, Stuart.
Yes.
Yesterday, a couple of times you mentioned mudra comes. Did you mean higher energy coming when you said that?
Not exactly, Tony. What I meant is that mudra, as well as healing and all these things that are manifestations of deep spiritual practice, come organically, so that you build up a system inside that all of a sudden your hands are going into certain positions, but you're not doing it. It's the energy that's doing it. If you try to do it, it's not going to work, because then your mind is going to get in the way. But the energy flowing through your body, the energy moving, through the chakras into the hands, it will do this. It will organically do this. And then all these different positions of mudra, each one of them will open up a different area of the cosmos when you practice. I mean, it's not something I can outline on a board, blackboard, although you can read books and they chart mudras. They'll tell you every mudra and hand positions, but that doesn't mean you're going to get it because you know this in your head. It only becomes real when the system of a human being evolves to where they are ready to do mudra. Same thing with healing. And it's just a byproduct of very deep inner work that comes organically.
Thank you.
I mean, you often see pictures of Buddhas sitting, and Christ, the hands, he does all those hand movements that you see in paintings of Christ. It's all a product of their evolution of,
When Kundalini enlightenment coming down, can you still sit, or you said organically, just still can you keep sit like this? I don't know, I never experienced, so you must know. Just can you don't understand?
No, it's
when Kundalini enlightenment comes through you, can you still sit like this, or just you have to move, something going crazy, or just quietly?
Sometimes you'll move if that energy is hitting blocks inside you. You will move. They're kriyas. The energy is hitting a block, and it'll make you jerk, or your head will swivel around, or hands go up in the air. But when the energy, clears that path and opens you, you'll sit completely still. I mean, you don't see the Buddha bouncing around when you see pictures.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Buddha, I mean, total stillness, complete balance, total centeredness. That happens after the kriyas, after the Shakti, the energy of Kundalini, the energy of meditation, cleans up all of those blockages inside a human being.
Amazing.
It is amazing. And that's all a byproduct of this practice. It's cleaning up. It's like, Kundalini, Shakti is like a great sanitation department, cleaning up all the garbage inside people so that people can attain a state of enlightenment.
You mentioned your book, your eternal bird, come to your here. Something different.
The phoenix bird, yes. If you look in my forehead here, you'll see like the wings of a bird here, coming from right here.
Wow.
The symbol of rebirth.
Wow.
Phoenix comes out of the ashes.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that also is part of the evolution. As a person grows in this, all these marks start forming in their head. The third eye, the phoenix bird, all of that, trident, these things begin to form in a person's head. And it's a really just a sign of evolution of consciousness. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
When did you get Kundalini enlightenment? How long ago?
A long time ago.
Wow. So that's not easy to get, I guess. You are very sincerely doing every day.
Look, for all intensive purposes, I could have probably taken samadhi, be finished, but the universe, God, I guess, wants me to do work here. Wants me to, it's almost like bodhisattvic work, to nurture people, to help people with a deeper understanding of what spiritual practice is all about. Not a superficial one, not on the surface, but a really deep understanding, a deep experience of what meditation is really about, what inner work is really about. And I guess, they keep me alive here to do this.
And if you get enlightenment, I can see you. We can see you happening, or I don't know. Maybe sit still, so maybe never know. Maybe you can tell later.
It's like, you ever see the movie Superman? It's like you go in a telephone booth and put on, your teaching costume, and suddenly you come out on a different level. That's what this is about. I live as an ordinary human being every day. I have to. You understand? Because that enables me to function in life. And when I sit down in these classes, it's like a whole other part of myself manifests. But during the day, I have to do business. I have a daughter to take care of. I have this to do, that. A million things are going on. I mean, telling you, it's getting to be crazy, But I have to function here like a human being, which is part of developing consciousness, how to live on the earth as a human being, and at the same time, how to get free of living here. And the place I go to get that freedom and build these classes. And you learn very simply that there is no separation between the life we live and a spiritual life. It's all one. And you learn how to fit into all of it. As I always say in the Bible, give to Caesar what Caesar's, give to God what's God's. And then you discover that Caesar is also a manifestation of God. The guy who gets the rent, the grocery store, the this, the money, the car, it's all giving to Caesar, but doing it with gratitude, with love, with a sense of, openness about the great treasure that is life and what life teaches us every day. That's the job of Caesar, to teach us how to do everything that life demands with gratitude. And then you give to God, not only gratitude to life, but gratitude to higher energy. That energy comes down and nurtures us and gives us the strength to truly feel, to bow to Caesar. That takes enormous strength to embrace life with all its teachings. You know, I always say that an enlightened person will never tell you they're enlightened. They just live that way. They live their life that way. They're not going to walk around with a big sign saying enlightened.
Sure.
You know? Their life is just lived that way. Responsible to God, responsible to doing their service in the world, responsible to all the people in their life. And more than anything, just being a happy person. You know, having joy in one's life, forgiveness. And not, I mean, I remember in Kathmandu, remember Chris, the guy at Pashupatinath who had that sign on his door, Saint?
Saint.
Come here and I will give you your enlightenment, Saint, you know? And it was at that point I realized that even saints, in order to be enlightened, have to surrender their saintliness. You can't be attached to anything. I mean, a saint needs a bit of the criminal in him, you know? It's true. Otherwise, you're holier than thou, and that really is boring, you know? Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart, can you talk about transforming like inner hostility to gentleness, the ability to transform inwardly in that way?
Yes, Wendy, you know, I talk about this all the time. And look, I hate to repeat, I feel like a broken record here. How do you transform your anger, your insecurity, your fear, all your problems, all the angst that's inside? You got to build a system inside that is strong enough to draw all of that negativity into the third chakra, where it will be transformed into energy, harmony, and balance. And that's part of building the chakra system, is getting the capacity to do this. So instead of venting it in the world and creating a nightmare with other people, you know, because it always comes back to you, you know, you bring it into the third chakra, you draw it down, you consciously make that effort, and that will transform what you just described into gentleness and joy and love. It's not going to happen in one doing, but you've got to, you know, you got to recondition yourself to be able to do these things and to function this way. And all of that insecurity, all of that angst, all of that fear, the anger, you know, I mean, when I was younger, look, I was such an angry young man, boy. I was bitter and angry at everything. It was just a shit world we lived in. You know, and I took it out, you know, protesting the Vietnam War, fighting for this, fighting for that, you know, segregation and all this stuff. And then I realized, Stuart, that is not going to change. You have to change. And then I met Rudy, and he taught me how to bring all my anger into the third chakra. All my judgment, all my angst, all my insecurity, and I had a lot of insecurity when I was younger, into the third chakra and transform it. And because of that, you build the third chakra, and then you can open your heart, and the heart will stay open. And you will feel that joy, that love, that simplicity. But that's the work, you understand? It's the work of meditation to learn how to do this. In practice, one of the greatest things that Rudy ever taught, and almost nobody learned it. People teach you go directly into the heart, you go into the third eye. Rarely does anyone ever talk about the very core of one's being and bringing all of that stuff down into the core. Because once you build the foundation, you can open the heart. Once you build the foundation, you can construct a building on it. A tree has roots. Understand, we have to be grounded that way. And that grounding is inside. And the use of the will is essential in developing that kind of strength inside yourself. To bring the anger down, to bring the unhappiness down, to bring the depression down. That's a big one right there. To bring all of that stuff into the third chakra. It's the work of this meditation, because then everything else can open. Then when you feel gratitude, the heart will become a great lotus flower that opens. The mind will get quiet. The throat will get open. You can draw energy through the sexual area that will activate Kundalini. That's how it works. It's a process. Rudy always called it a process. And then you transform what's killing you into life-giving energy. And in doing that, you transform yourself. You become a different person. Does anyone else have a question? I've been doing this week a lot of in-person classes, and they really are incredible. And I'm now inspired to go find a place. I'm going away on Labor Day, and I'm going to try to find a place that I can settle down in and have kind of a center there and have people come and have, not only meditation classes, but every day we've been having hands-on healing classes. It's been really very powerful and quite extraordinary, actually. So that's, really a project that I'm going to work on right now to do this.
In Mexico or United States?
I don't know. It might be in Afghanistan. You want to go to Afghanistan?
Yes.
I don't know.
What a great.
I'm beginning the process of looking. I always wanted to go to Afghanistan. Really, I used to love Afghanistan music, tribal music. When I was younger, it was unbelievable music. And I wanted to go there, and it was always a kind of a dangerous place to go, so I never really went.
Wow.
But I used to love the music, and also the art. They have all this. In the early periods of Afghanistan, it was a Buddhist country. Back Pakistan too, and they had the most extraordinary Buddhist art that was created there in the second, third, first century, second, third, fourth century. So I always had but it was always like, you go there and get killed. So I figured, all right, I got to live a little longer, Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask?
Myself. I feel such a gift from all I've learned by being with you and the other teachers, but I still deal with that I have so much to take care of. I have to keep track of everything. How can I, make that a part of my life? Because there's always so much to do, and I get caught up in that,
Well,
and I don't know how to separate.
Claudia, just be grateful that you have, you can also do nothing and become a cripple,
Well,
you know?
I'm not.
You sit around in a chair all day and look at the ocean and become a cripple. Having to do is a blessing. Having a lot of things to do is really a blessing. Instead of being a pain in the ass, you should be grateful that at your age, you have a lot of stuff to do.
I am grateful. I am
And
grateful.
complaining about it, okay? And just do it with gratitude and
Yeah.
really understand the great treasure that is life and acting in life and being in life. And don't complain about it. Be grateful that you at your age can do a lot of stuff. Otherwise, I mean, what do you know? My God, you go down, I mean, just go to an old age home and spend a couple of hours there and see how people live there. It's scary.
True.
It's really scary.
The
And
more we do, the more we do, the more we do. And that is what's happening. And it feels wonderful, even though I get tired.
Don't go on. Just say it's wonderful. And I don't want to hear even though. Okay.
All right. No, even though
No,
it is wonderful.
just be grateful, that you're not sitting in a wheelchair somewhere,
Yeah.
and spending the rest of your life. I mean that, because, really, if you do deep inner work, you don't get older, your inner life gets younger. I mean, at this point of my life, I should be going to Mexico looking for a place to do, I mean, it's, and yet it's a wonderful thing to have energy and vision and expansion of life and wanting to live in the world.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have a question I would like to ask? Okay, there'll be a meditation on Sunday. God bless you all. Again, can't tell you how grateful I am to be able to be here, to be with you all, to have these classes, and to be able to share with you so many things that have happened in my life and have brought me to this moment where I can express them. So bless you all. Thank you.
Yeah.
And just take it all deep inside and allow it to work on you. And just remember what a blessing it is for us to be alive in this world. Very great blessing. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thanks, Stuart. Good night.
Okay, good night.
Thank you.
Right.